Lord, stamp eternity on my eyeballs. God's purpose for my life was that I have a passion for God's glory, and that I have a passion for my joy in that glory, and that these two are one passion. You contribute nothing to your salvation except the sin that made it necessary. Of all the knowledge that we can ever obtain, the knowledge of God and the knowledge of ourselves are the most important. Resolution 1. I will live for God. Resolution 2. If no one else does, I still will. Resolved, never to do anything which I should be afraid to do if it were the last hour of my life. True virtue never looks so lovely as when it is most oppressed, and the divine excellence of real Christianity is never demonstrated as clearly as when it faces trials. Our Redeemer, who was infinitely the most wonderful example of love that was ever witnessed, he that has doctrinal knowledge and speculation only, without affection, never is engaged in the business of religion. Truth is the agreement of our ideas with the ideas of God. Godliness is more easily feigned in words than in actions. How can you expect to dwell with God forever if you so neglect and forsake Him here? Seek not to grow in knowledge chiefly for the sake of applause and to enable you to dispute with others, but seek it for the benefit of your souls. Unconverted men walk over the pit of hell on a rotten covering. Nothing sets a Christian so much out of the devil's reach than humility. From love arises hatred of those things which are contrary to what we love, or which oppose and thwart us in those things that we delight in. Resolved that I will live so, as I shall wish I had done when I come to die. Holiness appeared to me to be of a sweet, pleasant, charming, serene, calm nature, which brought an inexpressible purity, brightness, peacefulness, and ravishment to the soul. One of these grand defects, as I humbly conceive, is this: that children are habituated to learning without understanding. Grace is the seed of glory, the dawning of glory in the heart, and therefore grace is the earnest of the future inheritance. True weanness from the world don't consist in being beat off from the world by the affliction of it, but of being drawn off by the sight of something better. Men will trust in God no further than they know Him, and they cannot be in the exercise of faith in Him one ace further than they have a sight of His fullness and faithfulness in exercise. Resolved to study the Scriptures so steadily, constantly, and frequently, as that I may find and plainly perceive myself to grow in the knowledge of the same. A people are not made for rulers, but rulers for a people. When indeed it is in God we live, and move, and have our being, We cannot draw a breath without His help. To go to heaven, fully to enjoy God, is infinitely better than the most pleasant accommodations here. Prayer is as natural an expression of faith as breathing is to life. By the grace of God, we will never pluck unripe fruit. We will never press people to decision, because we'll lead them to damnation and not salvation. The devil stands waiting for them, like greedy, hungry lions that see their prey and expect to have it. We ought not to limit God where He has not limited Himself. Being sensible that I am unable to do anything without God's help, I do humbly entreat Him, by His grace, to enable me to keep these resolutions, so far as they are agreeable to His will, for Christ's sake. My soul longs to feel itself more of a pilgrim and stranger here below, that nothing may divert me from pressing through the lonely desert, till I arrive at my Father's house. Oh, the closest walk with God is the sweetest heaven that can be enjoyed on earth. All our good is more apparently from God, because we are first naked and holy without any good, and afterwards enriched with all good. Nothing grieves me so much as that I cannot live constantly to God's glory. 'Tis a more glorious effect of power to make that holy that was so depraved and under the domination of sin than to confer holiness on that which before had nothing of the contrary. People may love a God of their own imaginations, when they are far from loving such a God as reigns in heaven. The way to heaven is ascending. We must be content to travel uphill, though it be hard and tiresome, and contrary to the natural bias of our flesh. None that will come to Christ, let his condition be what it will, need to fear but that Christ will provide a place suitable for him in heaven. There are none in hell but what have been haters of God, and so have procured his wrath and hatred on themselves, and there they shall continue to hate him forever. The good Lord grant that false religion may cease, and true religion prevail through the earth. Greatest concern is not for your health or temporal welfare, but for the good of your soul, though the harder the heart is, the more dead is it in sin, and the more unable to exert good affections and acts. That the will is always determined by the strongest motive. Oh, that God would purge away my dross, and take away my tin, and refine me 7 times. All earthly desires are but streams, but God is the ocean.